Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody out there? We'll be getting started in just a few minutes here. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Takiba, good morning. And I'm sure some people are going to be across the pond. I guess it'll be evening for them. Celestial Shamaka, how are you? All right, yes, finally made it. Glad you're here. Glad you're in my class too. Been participating good and hard in that. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so now the second unit is available now, so as well. So, but this first month is really going to be reorienting everybody. So, and this is just going to be setting the foundation, and after that, it's going to be on and popping. All right, you glow he. How's it going? I cannot pronounce that name. I'll have to work on it. We'll be starting in just a few minutes, guys. So 11:05, we'll get going. Shelby, how you doing? Welcome back. All the way from Northern Virginia. I'm over in Texas, so in Dallas. Do I? So yes, yes. So I'm really excited. Our class has been started. Is getting going. So got quite a number of people participating. So it is really going good. So I'm very excited about it. All right, Ellie, hello. Okay, right outside DC. Okay, okay. I have yet to go to DC. I do want to visit. I was a social studies teacher for a number of years, so I always taught about the history of DC and all of that. So, of course, that always interested me. Yeah, yeah. But it got to a point to where I just couldn't. I couldn't keep teaching all of the stuff that they're telling us because it's about the Constitution and all of that. So it was like, man, I'm getting up every morning. I'm like, this stuff is not really true. I'm tired of it. Yes, pretty much. Uh, Celestial, pretty much. Hello, Light Bearer. How are you? Yes. How are you doing? So yeah, so then I stopped teaching social studies, and then I went to teaching math and science. So that was a little bit better because math and science is just straightforward. So you teach the stuff, but still all that testing and all that, man, couldn't stand it. So had to get out of there. All right, all right. All right. Looks like it is straight up 11:05. So I like to respect time. So we can get going. Just do a little uh, housekeeping. So I'm Reginald Kuakaru, and I'm the founder of Khemetic Centered Living. And I like to say my work is beginner friendly African spirituality because I can break it down in a simple and easy to understand way so it will be forever and consistently Baroque. Y'all, if y'all ever seen the movie Love Jones, that's one of my favorite scenes when he says that. But anyway, I'm really excited to be here. Always, you guys always have some great questions, and it really helps me to flow. So I really love it when you guys are asking all those questions. So that's really cool. So, but as usual, guys, I don't go along with I guess the way that everybody says things should be done, or the way that everybody says things should be believed. I don't do that. So a lot of times I'm going to provoke thought. And if you do decide to go and check things out, you'll see that the way that I think, you might think is different, but it's actually right along the lines of the ancestors and the way that they looked at it. So a lot of times. So in the chat, please be kind and be courteous to each other. Let's be supportive. Negative people will be booted, so that's no problem. So get them out quick, fast, and in a hurry. So my moderator is Queen Mystic. If y'all don't know, that's my daughter, and she also does birth chart readings and is very good at it. So if you ever need a reading, hey, come to her. Let's see. And also, if you're chatting, say something good and valuable to you. And there's also the super chat. So you see the $ down at the bottom. Guys, give. So I'll always appreciate it. So, but at any rate, we can get going. We can see if we got any questions. So I need to find friends who are with me on Khemetic African spirituality. Feel so alone because not a lot of people know this knowledge. Yeah, Ellie, I feel you on that. It does seem like a lot of times we are spread out, just all over the place. So um, and we can connect here online. So that's one of the things I'm doing is I'm actually creating my online community through my class, and we have a forum that we got going. So just people that are on the same journey. So a lot of times the people, like I say, I'm beginner friendly. So people that are kind of just starting out on this journey, or moving away from Christianity into the more of the African spirituality. That's kind of where I am with it, and I decipher and decode really decode Christianity, because if you look at the Khemetic spirituality, it's the only system that really decodes Christianity, because that's where Christianity got its stuff from. And Christianity essentially took a fringe aspect of Khemetic science and basically made a whole religion out of it and screwed it up, really. If I got to be frank with it. But yeah, but that's what my work does. So I don't just regurgitate stuff. That's not it. And I see a lot of that goes on online, where people just regurgitate. They'll read a book and just basically tell you word for word what's in the book. No, I interpret and I tell you and explain to you and break it down to you in simple and easy to understand ways, so that you can get away from the superstitious beliefs. And I like to call it the spiritual science, because science really comes down to what are you doing to experiment with, and what are you hypothesizing on. And then if you're experimenting and hypothesizing, if something doesn't work, how do you recalibrate? So that's what spiritual science really is about, and it's about really how we deal with it in our lives. So it's not just like in religion, for instance, like in my course, the African spirituality before Christianity, the ultimate guide. One of the things I break down in there, because one of the questions people always ask me is like, okay, now that I'm not praying to Jesus, or now that I'm not praying to God, who do I pray to? How do I pray? And that's a really big deal for a lot of people, because it's like, okay, well, I had this whole orientation for years. Now what do I do? And so that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to break down for people from a scientific perspective, rather than from the religious and superstitious perspective. Because in religion and superstition, it's how you say something, the way you say something, if you put your hands together, stuff like that. And that really has very little to do. Those rituals can put you in a certain state of mind that you can access things. So they work, but if you don't know why you're doing it, then it's kind of hit and miss. And that's one of the things that really got me so like upset at one point with Christianity because there were things that were happening in my life, and we would talk about praying about it, and man, I got to where I just hated to hear people say, "I'll pray for you." Like, what for? It doesn't even work. So I mean, you're gonna pray for me, but I wanted to know, if I prayed, how could I get my prayer answered? And if you really think about it, and you look at what's happening, there were sinners that I knew got prayers answered before the saints. So that must have meant that it didn't matter whether or not you were, a believer or a Christian or whatever. The sinner and the saint got their prayers answered just the same. So in my mind, I said, okay, there has to be something else to this then. So that's what I started looking for, and started trying to find. So happy days. How's it going? And so it was, so that's where I am with this. Is I'm going to break down to where it's going to be the science of it. It's not just uh, a lot of people, what they do is just give information. I mean, just spew it out. And and in a lot of my videos, if you watch those, I do give information where it's valuable, but I connect it to something. I connect it to where you came from, and to help you understand where you need to go. So that's what I do with my work. So it's and it's something I love doing. Absolutely love doing. So let's see. Takiva, you saying hello 45. Who is 45? No. Let's see. Penny is in here. Hey, Penny, what's going on? All right, all right. I was just watching a video on Dr. Yosef. He's so missed. His videos are very powerful. Yeah, Dr. Joseph Ben Yakiman. So absolutely. So good stuff. I love his videos, on the historical aspects of things. So absolutely, some good stuff. Do it beautiful. Thank you, Lightbearer. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. It's something that I really, really love doing, because my teacher brain is always working. So I mean, any of you guys have ever been teachers, y'all know that once you leave the classroom, your brain doesn't shut down from teaching, because you're always thinking about, okay, I could have said this a certain way. I could have said that a certain way, or how can I present this? What can I do to help my students to understand it? So my teacher brain is always working. So, but it's something I just love doing. I love fitting that puzzle together, and then also to basically make it clear. So one of the greatest things for me is to hear somebody say, "Oh, now I get it," and that's like, ooh wee, that's just fantastic for me. So I like to watch those videos. Yes, you got to, Celestial. So watch them. I'm telling you, it'll be those videos are really. I break them down in a way that it really takes the mystery out of what Christianity used to teach us, and where it came from. Then I document it as well. So you can't watch my video and say, well, no, I don't know about that, because I'm going to give you the documentation as well as and you can go and research it for yourself if you like. So so that can be very powerful. Very powerful. So yeah. His last name Joseph Ben Yakinen. Yeah, I can't write it. One of the worst things I do is spell. So I mean, I spell so bad sometimes even the spell check look at me and give me that look like, what are you trying to spell, man? So no, it's Ben, Ben Yakinen, Ben. Yes, the Kabbalion is one of my favorites. So it's I love it. I read that years and years ago. So it really is that is very helpful, Valerie. So Valerie asked had I read the Kabbalion. Is this yes, the Kabbalion absolutely. It's on metaphysical teachings. So really and truly, the Kemetic information is based on energy, and it's based on the idea that everything is energy. So how does energy? How do we interact with energy? What's the archetypal patterns that we access, and what's the archetypal patterns that really run through us? So at the foundation of everything that's being taught in Kemetic science is energy. And also it was supposed to be that way in religion too, but they made other ideas that in religion we worship the ideas rather than knowing what the ideas were about. Okay, what they were supposed to do. So yes, like they're a balance. Yeah, everything is energy. Everything is energy, and everything is about when you can reach that balance. And what we can talk about there is the idea of most of us live in what we call a 3D consciousness. And I like to say the third dimensional consciousness. And third dimensional consciousness is where you deal with lack, you deal with fear, anger. You run through a lot of these emotions, and you're being pushed and pulled through those emotions. Well, the whole idea is that you come to a point to where you're balanced, where you're not being moved by fear. You don't look at the news and go, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, Trump just got elected, or whatever. I mean, you know that you can control your reality and create your reality. So that's what really being balanced is about. So when we really reach a level of understanding, and I call this fourth dimensional consciousness, is when you reach the understanding that the universe works in your favor. That's fourth dimensional consciousness. And right now, a lot of people just don't get that right now. The focus is on fear, and we get trapped by that, get roped in by all the fear. But ultimately the universe does work in our favor when we understand the science. So Christianity, my gosh, how much slavery was in it? It's really like a movie, the book, Eli. Self-hate. Yep. Telling us to self-hate. Absolutely. I mean, you start off with Christianity saying that, you're born a sinner. You're born unable to even, with the inability to even follow God. And so you start off at a deficit in Christianity and are constantly trying to catch up. But the deal is they're always you're never gonna catch up, because you can never reach the perfection or the idea of perfection that they want. Yes, most people are Libera. So Libera says most people are stuck in the third dimensional consciousness. Fear, hate, anger, all of that stuff all of that is third dimensional consciousness. And as long as we're in fear, hating on each other, racism, sexism, all the isms, that's third dimensional consciousness. And when you really get down to it, understand that you're with this Kemetic spirituality, you're raising your level of consciousness to where you can get beyond those ideas. Yes, it is, Shelby. I agree. Shelby says the Kemetic lifestyle is liberating. Absolutely, it is. You don't have to try to fit in somebody else's idea of what your life is supposed to be like. You create your life. You create your life for you, by you, and you have the courage to live that definition. So that's really what Khemetic spirituality is about. It's not trying to act a certain way, or be a certain way. No, you be you every day, and the best you that you can be. So let's see. I really love your channel. Thank you very much. There's some just hold on. Where'd it go? Let's see. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up here now. Let's see, it does nothing for you. Yeah, see, a lot of people are stuck in 3D. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, you talking about the affirmation, light bearer, of basically I'm worthless, I'm nothing. I used to hate that, to hear people say, "Oh, I'm nothing without God." You are something. You're here. So you're something, and you should be proud of that. All that false humbleness, and that's the crazy is I see people that are like trying to go into business for themselves, and they have this false humbleness to where in business, if you can't explain to a person why they should be doing business with you, and that means that you have to tell them something good about yourself, and people struggle with that. It's like, oh, well, well, I'm not that good. I mean, imagine going to a surgery with a doctor and he's going like, well, I'm okay. People make it out sometimes. Like, hell no, I want the best. So, we get on this idea that we're not supposed to say something good about ourselves. Other people can, but we're not supposed to. And that's crap. You have to be able to tell yourself and look in the mirror and say something good about yourself. You have to be in the mirror and say, I love you. And a lot of people can't do that. It's very difficult for them to look in the mirror, look at themselves and say, I love you. Try it. Try it and see. If it's like, oh, you start to get this feeling. It's crazy. So see the above question. Shelby, what was that question? Let me see. What was the above question? It's moving fast. And I get to talking. I can't see the screen. So what should we do daily, like practice rituals as Khemetic followers, recite the 42 laws of my morning and before that? Donovan, that's a good question. So, and I talked about this a little bit last week about the 42 laws of my I've never seen those anywhere, and I study this stuff a lot. So, and that doesn't mean it is out there. Maybe it's out. They're on the temple somewhere. I have yet to go to Egypt. I will do it. I will be going there. But the 42 negative confessions, that goes against everything that I understand about how we create reality in our universe. Okay, and the universe does not hear not and don't. Okay. So I am not a thief. The universe hears I am a thief. Okay. So negative confessions, that everything that I've ever learned and everything that I teach is that you want to gravitate and you want to put out what you desire. Okay. If wars are going on, you don't say I don't want war. You say I want peace. I want to live for peace. That's what you desire to have. So it's not about what you don't want. It's about what you do want, and that's how you do that. So yes, there are things that you can do, but one of those things is you have to really just be able to appreciate who you are and live who you are authentically. And then you have to positively affirm the things that you want to accomplish or want to manifest in your life. That's really what it's about. So the Matrix wasn't a movie; it was a documentary. I'm right there with you. Sure was. So that's one of my favorites, man. The Matrix. So the crazy hypocrisy of Christianity was young age. Yeah, a lot of us did. So the hypocrisy of it, but because we, had our parents that we had to adhere to what they said. So yeah. So Donovan, you said that's interesting. So what do you say is interesting? And I say, guys, and this is something else I want to tell you too, is I might say something that does not resonate with you. If it doesn't, that's okay. Take what does, and if something doesn't, leave the rest. Throw it out. I'm not saying that you should think and believe everything that I believe. Because my experience has been shaped by my life. My life has been shaped by my experience. So I might look at things a little bit differently than you. But if I say something that doesn't jive with you, throw it out, man. Forget it. So it's not about accepting everything somebody says. Take a little bit here, a little bit here, and fit it together for you. Fit together what works for you. Let's see. How to keep to yourself. Let's see, the 48 laws of power. Yeah, I was looking at those too, man. Those can be interesting. So they can be fear-based as well. So also Anthony Browder's books, Exploding Myth Volume 1, Now Valid Contributions. So Anthony Browder was somebody, I read him back in the 80s, early 90s. So it's some good stuff. So I like his stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, let's see. So teachers. Ways of being. I am looking forward to introduce him to Khemetic spirituality. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Right. Yes, Ellie, I agree. So Ellie says I'm Khemetic spirituality, but man, from what I've experienced, it's love and peace I've never felt before. I so agree with that. When you really get to a point to where you understand that it's not about trying to follow this box or jump in this box and stay in it, man, it is freeing. And really and truly, it challenges people who are Christian and who have thought like Christian, because a lot of times what I see is the Christians take, or people leave Christianity, but take all the beliefs that they have with Christianity. They just say that they don't believe in Jesus, you know. But everything else, they still do the same thing and still think the same way. They still bring the same old racist, homophobic, all the isms. They still bring them right there, right with them. Which is you're not changing anything, you know. So this is something about transforming your life, transforming your thinking, transforming your way of being. That's really what it is. So it's powerful, and yes, it is freeing, very much so. And starts to guide you to the proper places. Yes, yes, that you do start to get guided, and that's one of the things. Again, you really have to open up to the ideas and really open up to the idea that you do have guidance from, I can call it, I guess, from on high, from your higher self. And it really, you have to really be brave enough to follow that guidance a lot of times, because it's going to it might put you at odds against your being comfortable, because really and truly, when you're living this life, sometimes you live on the edge of your comfort zone, well, I ain't going to say sometimes, you do, period. So it's going to take you to the edge of your comfort zone. You fight the urge to keep telling family and friends the truth. Jabbar, I'll tell you this. So Jabbar asked a question: how do you fight the urge to keep telling friends and family the truth? Thus far, I interject after Jesus' prayer. My sisters try to get off at the family dinners. So Jabbar, this is how I learned it. I just got sick and tired of arguing. So if right now that's your place, do that, be you. But there's going to come a point where you're going to realize that what you have to say to other people about what they believe, it doesn't matter. And it causes a lot of strife, and it causes a lot of conflict. When you get to the point where you're tired of it, then you won't do it anymore. But right now, if that's where you're at, do it, because it might be just what somebody else needs at this point. So one of the things that I talk about is we want to give the gift of who we are, but the gift of who we are, a lot of times we have this idea of, okay, this is my gift to you, or this is my lesson to you, or this is what I'm supposed to teach you. That's an arrogant way of thinking. You have no idea. The best thing you can do, the best gift you can give to anybody, is to be yourself and let the chips fall where they may. So Jabbar, if you still like telling them, do it. But for me, I've gotten to a point to where I have no need to try and tell somebody else what they should believe, or that what they believe is wrong, because ultimately it's their life. Yes, Library, growth starts within self. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's really not about them. None of this stuff is really about anybody else. It's about you and your growth. So if your idea and I'm just speaking in general, if a person's idea is that they're going to change the world by telling somebody else how to be, it's going to be a tough road, man. It's going to be a tough road. Yes, I agree, Jabbar. It hurts to see them blindly follow. But on the flip side, they're hurt that you're not following Jesus. You know? So to them, in their mind, a lot of them saying, oh man, this dude is getting ready to go to hell and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's like the best thing you can do, and again, from my experience, I've been on this earth 58 years. From my experience, is just to let people be, you know? And I'm telling you, if we all got to a point to where we could just let each other be who we are and love each other where they're at, man, the whole world would be a whole lot better. So yeah, so that's how it is. So who is going to pay for my actions if I lie, kill, or steal? So who's going to pay for your actions? And see, this is again, is when you think about you have to think about yourself as a soul living thousands of lives and thousands of years, millions of years. You are eternal. In the context of a soul, you got to think of it being like a movie, which you are the director of the movie. And you are going to cast your different parts for your movie. So in one movie, you might be the bad guy. In the next movie, you might be the good guy. But you both are playing a part to teach each other something. So there's no punishment. If you're the bad guy this time, the punishment is that, well, I won't even say a punishment. If you're the good guy this time, you might be the bad guy next time, you know, and that's always happening. So you're always in this dance. So there's no punishment of going to hell or something like that. It's about you learning and exploring as a soul and as consciousness. So this idea of punishment, it goes out the window. But I understand the idea of a lot of Christians of thinking, well, man, if there is no fear of hell, man, everybody's just going to go crazy. Well, that's assuming that everybody is bad. That's assuming that everybody is out to hurt somebody else. And that's that negative idea that everybody's born a sinner. There's a whole slippery slope of ideas that end up just going trickling down from that. Everybody's not bad. I don't believe in Jesus, and I don't have any desire to hurt another human being. Hell, a lot of times I don't want to kill a bug, but sometimes I just know that bug chose me to die. So I step on it, you know. But that's it. I mean, there's no punishment. There's only learning. Okay. Let's see. No religious friends and family truth myself, and you can really see the anger and indoctrination. Yeah, Ellie, you definitely will. So let's see. We would be at peace. We let it be. Yep, absolutely. They call it defense mechanism, religious people. Yeah, yeah. But it's anybody's going to have the defense mechanism if you are if somebody's talking against something that you strongly believe. Not only are you attacking the belief, you're attacking the person because it's basically what you're saying is, man, you believe in Jesus, you're stupid. Who wants to accept something like that? So yes, people are going to be defensive, absolutely. You know, and I hear that all the time. I don't think it's too smart, but you know, people do that. Yesterday with Jesus, this is. Yeah, I get that. So, but again, and Lionel says I talked with this pastor. He told me yesterday that Jesus forgives his sins, and from his perspective, that's true. And that's something that we're talking about in class right now. One of the things that we discussed here the other day. What's the difference between true and truth? And for a lot of people, what's true for them is what's real. But in Khemetic spirituality, what we're dealing with is truth. So there's a difference there. There's no punishment, only learning. Absolutely, only learning. So, and when you die and you re up again for another life, the questions are gonna be, hey, did you really live the life that you chose to live? You know, did you go through what you contracted to do? Did you learn it? Did you accomplish it? You know, so that's going to be the deal. And if you didn't, you get a chance to do it again. So in Christianity, you're going to burn forever if you do something wrong. In Khemetic spirituality, you get to learn forever. So that there's a difference. He's trying to figure out why people are getting shot. Yeah, and man, I mean, and I know for us as African Americans, we deal with this a lot of times, the racism and stuff, and I know a lot of people reconcile it with we're being punished, you know, we're cursed. But if you look at it from a higher level, everybody is in a dance of learning. So the racists and us as black people, we're supposed to learn something from this idea. And as long as we stay in the victim perpetrator mode, we don't learn because all we do is we get angry. So, and we deal with the idea of trying to solve it. And the biggest thing that I see the problem with trying to with the way that we deal with racism today is that we think that we're going to change somebody else's mind, you know, and we can't change somebody. We're never going to force a racist to change. You know, I like to say the old saying is a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You know, so we're never going to force somebody to like us as a people. That's why we got to love us and then do what we need to do for us, you know? And if other people want to be allies, great, come along. But the whole idea that we're going to fight racism and make somebody acknowledge who we are, it's a waste of time. Dualities and polarities, absolutely. Absolutely. Moves to the fore. Energy, okay. Stress. Has been co-opted. To keep, I understand it, but again, it's the game that as a soul, we came to rectify something. We're at one of the most difficult times of this planet right now as humanity because we got so things that are in flux. You know, it used to be that 200, 300 years ago, things were a certain way and people accepted it. But now people are starting to expand an idea into ideas that man, it doesn't have to be this way, and I can do things that the way that I want to do them. And when we get into those ideas, if it goes against what we believe, then it can be really difficult. Let's see. Well, I hear you, but I won't say it won't ever because there's people that I know that are white that are friends of mine, and we have deep discussions. I mean, we get into it and get at it. We get mad at each other, you know, and we don't hold back. But they're open to ideas that white supremacy and racism is real. White supremacy and racism is true. Okay, it is real. It is something that we deal with every day. But how we are going to eradicate it, we got to start with the truth that it starts from within us. Every single time. Every single time. Very powerful, eye-opening verse. Can you elaborate, even though it's self-explanatory? Uh, you're gonna have to tell me what that Bible. If you're speaking to me, you're gonna tell me what that Bible verse is, because I don't I write so much stuff, I forget. Let's see. Please don't say that. Like, hope to achieve 5D. So, please don't. So, like, resonated instantly in Mr. Martin's teachings. Absolutely, Celestial. So I think everybody grows and everybody grows at their own rate. So all the time. So all of us, again, we have our own level, and we can't assume, the worst of humanity. I don't want to do that. I want to assume the best, that humanity can evolve and elevate. So that's my assumption. Kwanzaa. As a student of Khemetic spirituality, do we celebrate Kwanzaa? Stop acknowledging all Western holidays. See, again, because this is something because it's really, and Shelby asked a good question. So she asks, as a student of Khemetic spirituality, do we celebrate Kwanzaa? If you want to, because even with Christianity, guys, there's a lot of stuff that we grew up with. It's just part of our heritage and our culture. Know the truth, but there are certain things. There's still sometimes I might listen to gospel music. But when they start talking and singing about Jesus, I just know it's something a little bit different. I don't see Jesus the same way. But I like the rhythm and I like the sound of some gospel music. I don't say don't do this, don't do that. Be who you are and allow yourself to be. There's no rules. You don't have to follow other people's rules. And if they do say you have to follow their rules, damn them. I mean, I'm quite frank with that. I don't let anybody tell me how I'm supposed to be. I'm going to be the best me I can be. Sometimes people might not like that. I'm okay with that. I'm 58 years old. I don't have to worry about all this other stuff. I'm too old. So be reincarnated and start over as African. Ellie asked, do you believe white people are going to be reincarnated and start over as African persons, a man or woman? That's an excellent question. Okay. And as far as reincarnation is concerned, understand that when you feel strong emotions, that those emotions can literally carry over with you from one life to the next. So when people hate and they hate strongly, what'll happen is they will end up incarnating into a life, or it's a possibility that they can incarnate into the life of the people that they hated. Okay. So if somebody hates, if someone is racist and just hates another race, a lot of times what happens is they incarnate in that race so they can know what it felt like to be hated by someone. Okay. So again, the way we think of reincarnation is that everybody is always, I only reincarnate as a man. And I know that's not true. I know that in the 1920s, I was a white woman married to a white male, okay, to a rich white dude, all right, in the 1920s. In the 1850s, I was a slave and I was having an affair with a white slave owner. That woman happened to be somebody that I dated in this life. Okay, but we've been connected through other lives. Okay, so the way that we think about reincarnation and stuff like that, it's really a low level way of thinking. Because when you get to the higher understanding, energy is fluid. Okay, and how we can reincarnate, there's a lot of different ways that we can reincarnate. So we don't just reincarnate as black people or just reincarnate as white people. That it doesn't happen that way. Okay. We as a consciousness, we are here to learn. And you don't learn just living in one box. Okay. Let's see, all the things distraction. Let's see, I'm just learning here. Understand the 4D, my change my understanding. Okay. You can't ever reincarnate into white people or vice versa. It's all about energy. It's easy science. You need to fact check. Let's see. How are you? Find out your past lives. TK asks, how can you find out your past lives? And this is where you have to one is that you can actually access that stuff yourself. Okay. But you might need to deal with somebody who's been trained into regressing. And there's a lot of hypnotherapists that can actually regress you to past lives. But you can, if you get to a certain point, you can actually connect to past lives yourself. It's a matter of trusting what you come up with, because when we're accessing the stuff, we access through our imagination. And what we've been taught about imagination is that it's make believe, that it's hallucinations. But in reality, anything you imagine, you're connecting to something that's already happening and it's already possible. So something that's already just in another dimension. So imagination is not make believe. Okay. It is literally previews. That's another way you can look at it. It's previews into other dimensions. Okay, so you can connect to past lives, and what you have to do is set the intention of what information that you want to access. Okay, and you just speak to that. What you want to access, sit quietly and listen. Okay. Okay. Okay, Isaiah, I see that. So I mean, Ugoli. So the Isaiah, I form the light and I create the darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I am the Lord. I do all things. And all that is just simply an understanding. That's Isaiah 45 verse 7 from the Bible. And all that is saying is that that's an understanding that there is duality. Okay, that when the Creator separated, it created duality. So there was light and dark. So in any situation in your life, there is some aspect of light, there's some aspect of dark. Within us, there's always going to be some aspect of light, some aspect of dark. There's no absolutes anywhere in the universe. That it just doesn't work like that. Okay. How do dreams fit in? Dreams are just a level of consciousness. So when you fall asleep, you're actually more conscious when you're asleep because when you're awake, you're focused into this reality. But when you're asleep and dreaming, you're literally traveling into other dimensions and other realities. Literally. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you so much. I don't go crazy. Hey, no problem, TK. TK says, Brantley says, thank you so much. I don't feel crazy anymore. That's good. And that's a lot of times people can make you seem crazy by saying that, hey, it's supposed to be this way and that's the only way it's supposed to be. That's crap. It's not. It's not. And like I said, if I say something that does not resonate with you, throw it out. You don't have to believe like I believe because what is true for you might not be true for me. Okay. But again, I'm looking for what is truth. There's a difference between what is true and what is truth. So what is true is the things that we experience every day. Our life is true to us. But what is true are the things that can be eternal. Okay, the laws of the universe that are eternal. Our soul is eternal. Okay, so what is true and what is truth are two different things. So what is true for you might not be true for me, and vice versa. Let's see, you had a class a few years ago about dreams. Are you going to make a video about it? Probably not. So in my course, the African spirituality before Christianity, I do give some tips on how you can use dreams and how you can handle, how you can look at dreams and how to decipher them. You know, but that right now for me, that's not something I'm really into right now. So I kind of go with what's fun for me. Okay. So I do look at my dreams, but for me, I can decipher other people's dreams, but I guess I'm just too close to the situation. It's always hard for me to do my own dreams. So you do a past life regression. I read yes, I've done a past life regression. I've done a few of them before. So I knew people that were very gifted at doing those things, and so I would talk with them about it. So there's people that have different gifts that they can do past life regressions, and even people that can tell you about your dreams, and tap into that, So what negative energy you feel yourself, the more worse it becomes, calmer or weeping, and so on. So Ellie asks to see the more negative energy you feed yourself, the more worse it becomes. On some level, again, it's just a learning experience, and you have to learn how to assimilate that energy because the bottom line is we're on a journey of getting back to started as an energetic being. And until you can assimilate all of these fears and anger and different experiences, you can't merge with that one. So it's just all a learning experience. The period that people of color have in Renaissance lifetime a very powerful influence. Yeah, and Celestial says it is appearing at Renaissance and have a very powerful influence. So yeah, and that's things run in cycles, and and I think the people of color have always had in the United States, as far as I can tell. It's and as far as I've experienced, just as far as music and stuff like that, the new music forms invented in the United States have been by people of color, like jazz and rap and stuff like that. So, we have our deals, absolutely. So yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna say race mixing is negative thing, but if everything is energy, would that be true? Minez, as some would say that race mixing is a negative thing, and if everything is energy, would that be true? Again, for me, I honestly, the short answer is just it's the idea that race mixing is negative is idiotic. I mean, you can't you can't decide what color the person is that you love. Thank you, Valerie. I really thank you very much. So you can't decide, you can't put a color on love, and people who do are short-sighted. I mean, it's just again, I think people live through their fears a lot of times, and people say, well, you're only supposed to be with this person or that person. That's how races have been for centuries. So why would you like flip that back and be the same thing that they were being? Rise above it. So Valerie just chatted me, super chatted me $4.99. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Just like the question, Celestial. Let's see. Latin and Angola. Let's see. Yeah, and Celestial. This is the thing, is that everybody who has ever been affected by Christianity can resonate with the Khemetic spirituality because it unravels so much of what affected us. So to me, this is about humanity. It's through my experience as a black male. I'm telling the story through my experience. That's what's true for me. A lot of it is what's true for me, but I'm dealing with truth. I'm dealing with the universal laws. I'm dealing with energy. I'm dealing with how it manifests into our reality. So it can work for anybody that wants to accept it. So it's not just a black thing. And I've never presented it that way. I present it through my experience as a black man, but anybody can really gravitate towards this. Deep questions since coming from Christianity background. Your take on the LGBT community is where my take on the LGBT community and Khemetic spirituality. That's where I say, Ellie, again, people take religious views and bring it back to Khemetic spirituality. Human beings are human beings and they have a right to be who and what they want to be. Don't promote hate just for the sake of promoting hate. So I'm not with that part of a lot of people at any point. And believe me, when I was Christian, I was against the LGBTQ community. I was against gays, all that when I was Christian. But I've learned that people are human and they get to live and love the way that they want. As long as they're not hurting you, what does it matter? Who is it that decides somebody is supposed to love another person a certain way? Who decides that? And as Christians, we got into that, trying to dictate how people are going to live their life. You can't legislate morality. I don't care what you do. And I'm not even saying that LGBTQ is immoral. It's an experience that a person has chosen to live in this life. So no, I'm not going to keep promoting the hate that people do. I'm not going to be religious as a Khemetic spirituality person. That just doesn't work. So it's ignorance to me. Me too, Marilyn. Thank you. I'm glad you're in the course too, Marilyn. So thank you very much. So and again, I'm going to offend a lot of the people who are Kemetic that really still think in religious ways, and quite frankly, I don't care. So this is my life, and if you, again, you resonate with what I teach, come aboard. I don't care whether you white, black, green, blue, whatever. Come on down. So this is about uplifting humanity. It really is. Lionel Messi says, "Isn't that unnatural doings? If they're in nature, how is it unnatural? So we're all nature. So if somebody else has decided that something is unnatural, you know, but who am I to tell somebody else how to live? I don't have the power to do that. I don't want that power. I don't care to. So let's see. Happens to kids that are told both. Does it help or hurt to be exposed to the truth when everywhere else they are going to get sound wrong? Jabbar, what is? I'm not following. So you're saying what does it mean when kids are exposed to? So I'm not following you. So help me out. Yes, Ellie. It's all about love. It's all about love. Khemetic spirituality is all about love, and it's first, really and truly, it's first loving yourself. And when you love yourself enough and you can love yourself unconditionally, then you can open up a space for somebody else to be loved unconditionally. You know, you can open up the space to love and be loved unconditionally. Uh, Comedic life versus Christian life. Yeah, and so my children, my daughter, I mean, she grew up. My ex-wife was Christian, and my daughter and my son grew up in a Christian household. But I never forced them to choose. I never forced them. I gave them the information if they wanted it, but I never choose. And they came out okay. So neither one of them chose Christianity, but I didn't tell them that they had to. I loved them where they were. So neither one of them chose. It's like once you do find truth, you can't live somebody else's what's true for somebody else. You can't do it. Yes, Penny, absolutely. I don't want to replace Christianity with another religion either. I just want to live, be spiritual, and be free. That's absolutely true. That's the way I feel about it. I'm not trying to live in somebody else's box. I just won't do it. So Vibe says facts. That's my daughter. She says facts. I never made her and my son choose. So there was a time, but my daughter just said, "Dad, I don't want to hear about that right now." I was like, "Okay, baby." so, so she says, "Him not forcing it on me made me more interested." Yeah, and now, hell, I learned from her. So so I mean, she's into it now. She does her birth chart readings and stuff like that, and I learn stuff from her all the time. So she's great. To point out, from what I know, what has made the religion and it's so beautiful. There's no judgment. Yeah, no judgment. So I think when you really are not judgmental, your life becomes way more peaceful. Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And like I said, there's going to be people who do not agree with me, and I'm totally okay with that. Let's see. Whereas I strongly resented my mother for forcing us to go to church. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. Let's see, access is powerful. So reading. Let's see. Zachariah said in Go Vibes, how do I get info to purchase a reading? Okay. And if she doesn't have that to you, I can get that to you, Zachariah. So the dark side of Christianity is what I saw for decades and was really angry at these people. Everyone is important in your safety. And I call it light bearer. I'll say discernment. Okay, and that's where Osiris is called the judge. So that's the soul that's in us. And so I just call it discernment. So it's definitely good to have good discernment. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's see. Also request your service on the old Khemetic site. Jabbar, that I think the link on the other site it might be broken. So I have another link on the new site. So I can get that to you. Let's see, I'm a short version. Okay, so I figured that, Zachariah. I figured that. Okay, I figured that. Let's see, light, I call it discriminating consciousness. Yep. Let's see, not judgment. When did you start studying Khemetic science? Simba, is that you asking me that question? When did I start studying Khemetic science? Uh, Khemetic science, I started studying probably 5 years ago, but I've been studying metaphysics for probably over 20 years. And what I do is I connect the dots. So what I found was the reason why I even got interested in Khemetic science was that it answered questions that I had for about Christianity for years that I never could find answers about. But the more I got into it, the more I saw that all the metaphysical information that I was learning was actually African spirituality. So all physical stuff, it just started, and I just started connecting the dots. So I've been been studying Khemetic science, like I say, for probably 5 years, and but metaphysics over 20 years. And I'm one of those people that once I get a hold of something and I study it, I don't stay on the surface. I can't. It's like I want to know why something works. Like I said, prayer was one of those things that really motivated me. How does a person get their prayer answered? How does this sinner over here, this person I knew that was a drug dealer and did all this stuff, how does he get what he want? And I'm praying for something and I can't get it. I'm like, something doesn't add up. So I wanted to know why, and that's what started me really getting into metaphysics, and then the Khemetic stuff just came later. So yes, you can sign up for the reading right there. So Queen Mystic Vovive, she put the link in the room there. So if you want to sign up for a birth chart reading, and guys, these birth chart readings are amazing. So if you ever had questions about why you're here, why you are who you are, why do you love the people that you love, the people that you don't want to love, why did you love them? A birth chart reading is going to tell you all of that. So I've had her do a birth chart reading for me, and they are amazing, and she does an amazing job. So she does a lot of work on them, guys, a lot of work. But they are invaluable for helping you find your place and helping you find your find guidance for what you want to do. Let's see. Do you have to know the time? Okay, I'll let her answer that one. Let's see. Like, what do you do? I'm not sure I understand before, but it was left up to me to explain it to myself. Yeah, and that's the thing. She can really break it down for you, like the planets, like Chiron and which house they're in and stuff like that. She breaks it down, and I'm telling you, you're just gonna be like, whoa. So it's really incredible. So she does an excellent job. I'm saying she's my daughter, but I wouldn't promote her if I didn't know that she did the job that she does. And I know people that have gotten readings from her and have done, they are like, wow. She does readings for couples and stuff too. So if you're married and your significant other wants a reading, you can do that too. Let's see. Okay, so she's saying, Shelby, she offers an alternative reading for those who don't have their birth time. Okay, so good. Understanding your soul. Yeah, Chiron on the soul wounds. Exactly. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, sweetheart, for sure. All right. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're just kind of hanging out. Did anybody have any other questions? Actually, I love hanging out here with you guys. It is it's a lot of fun. So to hear all the ideas and the questions and stuff like that, just to have those discussions, man. So we need to. So my class is about to the door is about to close in about 5 days. So if you really want to get into the Khemetic spirituality and get into, I call it Khemetic Spirituality 2.0. So it's getting beyond the fight of whether or not Jesus is real. This is getting into soul contracts. It's getting into your energy, how you create your reality. Man, we had a discussion in the forum the other day about the double slit experiment. And if you get the double slit experiment, the double. If you when you understand what that means, your life has changed for real. Let's see. Class, will you offer another one? Yes, TK. So so right now I'm everybody's going through it once, but the class will probably open up again probably in another few months. So I'm going to see how my class goes here. So it might be 3 months, it might be 6 months. I'm just going to see how it goes right now. But if you want to get into it now. So it's open. So best value on the planet. Can ascend only. That's the truth of all. Whether you believe what I say or not, it will eventually show you this truth. Please go back and answer the question regarding my daughter. 12 through 53 mark. Let me see if I can go back up there, Shelby. Shelby, can you just put the question up again? And I'll see, because otherwise, because it's been going for a while here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I'll wait for it. Wait for it here. Thank you for that, Zachariah. He was saying that's true on the value. So the stuff that you're going to learn, and the price that I'm charging, is going to be the lowest it's going to ever be. So since a bit of African supremacy from you, like, let's see, celestial and light. Just hey guys, just let it go. I mean, people are going to believe what they believe. So just let it go. It's all good. Thank you again for that, Zachariah. I appreciate it. Let's see. Shelby wanted me to answer a question, so I was just waiting for that question. And also for guys, if you also have a course called the African Spirituality Before Christianity, the Ultimate Guide, it really gets into a lot deeper the things that I teach on the videos. It's a really good course, helpful for a lot of people. So check that one out too. So if the class is not your thing, try that course, and it's self-paced. So it's a good course. You won't find anything else like it. So the way that I teach and what I teach, there's not many people that do what I do. Let's see. Yes, you have an example of how the double slit experiment worked for you. So the double slit experiment works for us. And B Banks asks, "Do you have an example of how the double slit experiment worked for you?" It's not how it works for me. It's just it's how life works. So and I got into this in the class, and I explained, how the double slit experiment works. But what it basically is saying is that we literally create our reality. That our reality is based on ideas that are that is based on our belief about reality. And the double slit experiment has proven, and I see your question, Shelby. I'll come back up here. And that the double slit proved over 200 years ago that the reality we think is static is not. So the double slit experiment works every day. So that's how reality comes up. see, my 20-year-old daughter can see and hear spirits. They want her to give messages, but she is scared. Okay, that's an excellent question, Shelby. So my 20s, and obviously she has a gift. So she says my 22-year-old daughter can see and hear spirits, and they want her to give messages, but she's scared. She avoids crowds, and that's something that I call that's called channeling, Shelby, and it is something that is very very real for all of us. We all do it naturally, okay, but some of us are more gifted at it. And let me give you one of the natural ways that we do it, and especially you people that all of us that are like light workers and our friends and stuff gravitate towards us for like advice. Have you ever been in a situation where you can give your friend some good advice and then 2 minutes later you cannot even remember what you told them, but they appreciated it? Okay, that's an instance where you just channel something. It didn't come from your brain, it came through you. Okay, so Shelby, what your daughter has the ability to do is she can tap into other consciousnesses. Okay, and there are other consciousnesses out there, but if your daughter has the power to say to a consciousness, I do not want to talk to you, do not come through me, don't come near me. She has that power, and once she says that and she's getting ready to do it, she can say like an affirmation, like I want consciousnesses that want to connect with me, but I want to have that done with consciousness that are out for the good of humanity and the good of me, you know. So, and that's what she can say. So she can tell them what she wants, okay, and she'll be safe. So she's got to know that she's going to be safe though. So it's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, and I know with our Christian thinking, everything is a demon and everything, but that's not how it is. There are entities, and this is where I really want to get people to understand, guys. There are entities outside of Earth that want to connect with us, and can be helpful to us, can be helpful to you. Okay, that you can download information from them. So that's very very possible. And your daughter Shelby, she shouldn't be afraid. Just tell them that she wants them to do what's good for her and good for humanity. That's what she wants to connect with. And when she does that, anything that could be negative cannot come to her. They cannot come into her sphere of energy. It can't happen. Let's see. And where they can go. Let's see, giving them limits so she can enjoy. Yes, just giving them. She, in other words, in her reality, she is the power. Now, something outside of her can't overpower her, unless she gives them the okay to do that, and she doesn't have to. So she's the power. Thank you, Marilyn. So Marilyn just gave me $5. I appreciate that very much, very much. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, light and celestial. Can y'all please just drop it. Y'all don't have to fight each other. It's not necessary. So it's all good. Let's see. Is this how I know that my friend is pregnant? I knew some major family business need to be handled because of my elders that come to me at night. Yeah, TK, that could be very true. That could be very true, and it comes to us in different ways. So everybody can have that handle, or everybody has that. How can I say? Has a different connection. So yours might be your ancestors. Mine's might be my higher self. You know. So it's different ways. So all of us have that ability to channel. Again, just some of us are more gifted at it than others. My daughter, I mean, she can do. She can connect to spirits. People who have crossed over. She can connect to them. So that's something I've never been able to do. I don't know where she got that from, but she can do it. My course, Zachariah, I can put that in the chat room for you. Well, hold on. I think I might. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Okay, let me see if I can put it up here. Yeah, that's a link to that particular to the information page on that course, Zachariah. So there you go. There. So type 1 diabetic. Almost died before the yeah. So there you go. So and Vovi says she feels nothing but love from the spirit world. So and again, I think that has a lot to do with how you look at it. You know, how you determine really what your experience is going to be. There's a real spirit world. And there she goes. She's telling you. She sets the intentions. So that she's telling you right there something that your daughter can something that your daughter can use. So she sets. My daughter can actually talk to people that have already crossed over. And she says, I also set that intention. Only spirits aligned with my energy may enter into my domain. So there you go. There you go. So in that case, you just got to know that you have the power. So you have the power to basically dictate what energies connect with you or not. Let's see. So yeah. All right. So okay. So did anybody have any other questions? It's already 12:17. So I was going to cut it off here. But again, guys, if you're interested in next level, go and check out my page. Go and check out the class, uh, and go and you can go and look at that. So, but great class, great class. All right. No more questions. Guys, it's been great again. I always enjoy it. Always enjoy it. It's so much fun. So thank you. Thank you again, everybody, for all the questions and the conversation. So I love it. So we'll do it again next week. All right. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.